All right. We are live. We're live, I think. So awesome. Well, we have Natalie here. We're super excited, Natalie, to have you on this live video with us here at the Metabolism Reboot. And I'm going to let Natalie, you can see from the headline, she's lost about 36, almost 37 pounds. And it's been like 2 months basically, right? Which is great. So, all right. So Natalie, just first give us an introduction on you, who you are, whatever you want to tell us. Just introduce yourself a little bit.
All right. I've always been pretty active and I loved playing sports when I was younger. Then I went to college, got busy, still really active. But once I had kids, I feel like my metabolism just tanked big time. And I put on quite a bit of weight with my children. So after my youngest was born, I started counting calories and doing all of those different things and trying, and I'd lose weight and then I'd gain it all back. And then I'd lose weight and gain it all back. And so I've done things for a long time. One of my biggest weaknesses is sugar. I will say I'm honestly a sugar addict and I haven't had sugar in 8 weeks and I am so happy.
Good.
This program has been life-changing for me in that aspect because I honestly never thought that I would be able to not have sugar and not feel deprived.
Yeah. Which is huge because, we always talk about like, it's not going to be forever that we cut sugar out or those types of things because we talk about how to bring it back in later and do it the right way. But it's amazing when you don't feel deprived. You're going, I feel great. I've lost weight. I'm not deprived. I'm eating good food. So that's awesome. So tell us, we're super excited for you again, just not only the weight loss, but all the fun stuff that I'm excited to hear about. So tell us, before you started the program, had you tried other things? What's been your experience before with like typical kind of approaches for weight loss? Tell us a little bit about your journey, maybe leading up to working together.
Yeah. So being active in my youth and loving sports and stuff, I thought, oh, well, if I just run or if I just exercise a ton, I'm going to lose weight. Like that was my mindset before. And so I tried counting calories and it would work for a little while, but wasn't sustainable. Last March when COVID hit, and I teach middle school. So all of a sudden I was home. I was still working from home and doing crazy stuff, but it's like I had a little bit more focus on myself and my family. So I thought, well, I'll try Noom. My younger sister had done it before, and I was like, I'll try it. And it worked pretty good. There were some really good mindset things that went along with that. But when school started back up in the fall here in Idaho, we started right up full time, everyone there, which was awesome. I'm so glad that happened for us. But the weight, like I lost 30 pounds maybe, and then gained it all back. And so,
yeah.
Somehow I felt like on Facebook, I think I saw an ad on Facebook for you. And I was like, maybe this is the thing. And I was a little skeptical because of what the promises were. I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. But I thought, I'll give it a shot. It's worth something, let's try something that I can actually do. Maybe this is the right thing. So.
Yeah. Cool. And you're not alone. I think almost every person we ever chat with on these are like, I didn't really believe you. And it's hard to believe. Like I always say, like if anybody says you can lose like 20 to 45 pounds in 6 weeks, especially without like exercising, you're going to be like, well, you're going to be drinking some weird shake. You're going to be taking some weird pill. You're going to be starving yourself. You're going to be like all of these crazy things that are not healthy for you, which is like not what we do, right? Like we don't drink any shakes. We don't do pills. We don't exercise, like those types of things. And so it's, most people actually feel so much better. It's really just about getting the body healthy. So super excited for it. So tell us along those lines, you've lost almost 37 pounds. It's been like 50 something days, 55 days, I think, since we've started the program. And what have you experienced as far as like changes? You've lost 37 pounds almost. What else have you kind of experienced over the last 2 months or so?
Well, I will say first thing, when they have you can lose 20 to 35 pounds, I was like, I'm a little competitive with myself. So I was like, I am going to lose 35 pounds in this time, like guaranteed myself. I told myself I'm going to do it. If they say, I'm going to prove them that I'm going to prove to myself I can do it. So the first thing is I sat my family down. I have, kids that are all in elementary school, like they're, you know, a little bit smaller, but they're old enough to understand things. And I was like, mom's going to do this and everyone has to help. So you're not going to complain when mom makes dinner. You're just going to be happy about it. Like, you're going to try some of everything. Every time I cook something, you're going to eat it. And they were all like pretty happy about it and really supportive, which has been good. But I wasn't 100% sold that I could like not eat sugar and like give up some of those things that I just always went to when I was stressed. And this year has, especially at school, has been stressful. You know, like I'm sure the whole country understands that one. But I remember like I'm an all-in kind of person. So they said, you know, you had the do this mindset stuff and write up your little thing that you're going to tell yourself every day. So I said, fine, if I'm doing this, I'm going to go out because I'm going to lose at least 35 pounds. So I did it. I printed it up. I'm a visual person, so I made it visual. I put it on my home screen on my phone, like put it, you know, so that anytime I pick that up, I'd see it, you know, like I want to make sure it's visual for me because if I see it all the time, I'll remember. So that was one of the big things I did. I'd say it to myself. I did it kind of verbatim of what the instructions are at the beginning, like, I am going to do this. And so I'd say it to myself. It was on my nightstand, so I'd say it right before bed, you know. So I started off that way, and like I set like all these reminders throughout the day to remind me different stuff so that I was like staying consistent with it. And I went all out, like I've got a plan. So I went all out and planned like 2 weeks of meals so that I had it all. I didn't have to be tempted at the grocery store for the first week or whatever. I just wanted to have it. So that was kind of how I started. Kind of jumping in. And then as I went along, the second week was a little bit more of a challenge for me as far as that mindset is concerned. But I was bound and determined to lose at least 5 pounds. Like I was like, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to stick to it. My kids and family, we were enjoying the food. I remember the first meal, it was kind of a cold day here. And so we made the chicken zoodle soup from your recipes. And my family loved it. And my husband was like, that's one serving. Like, you know, I was like really strict about measuring everything out. And he was like, that's one serving. That's a lot, you know? And so like, we were both kind of surprised about that a little bit because we thought, you know, when you think about 4 ounces of things, like, we're like, that's not that much, but it really is, you know, plus all the free vegetables that we were adding in, like it was a lot of food. So I was happy about that. But, like I had everything, but the second week was teacher appreciation week. And I had told the students at the beginning of the year, like, Mrs. Arritt loves chocolate, you know, like I love chocolate. So I was given so much junk. So like I had like a whole like 2 drawers like in my filing cabinet full of junk that I was given. And like they were like, the school was sending teachers all the junk too. Like it was just a lot. And I was like, oh no, this isn't good. But I remember like, I just pick up my phone, read my little thing and be like, I'm going to make through. So I got through that week and I was quite surprised that I did not have one. I didn't like give in once, but every time I'd read my little thing that I wrote for myself, my mindset, it worked really well. And the next week it was my son's birthday and we had a big party and I didn't go out and make him like some healthy treat. I just bought him whatever he wanted. And I remember like all of his little friends were there and pulling the little lid off of this cookie cake thing that he wanted. And it smelled so good. And I think that was like a changing moment for me because I realized in that moment, like, I have more senses than taste. I can enjoy the smell of something and not have to taste it and still get joy out of it. So like, it's funny. I've been like smelling all these treats, but not having them. And I've been satisfied with that, which is not something that was normal for me. Cause you know, it used to be like, if you smell it or see it, you have to eat it, you know? And so I feel like that mindset thing has been crucial for my success and for like, just keeping going and realizing that, oh, you can still enjoy, like, you can enjoy the sight of a beautiful cake or, you know, but you don't have to eat it to enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like it's empowered you, right? You've
Yeah.
gained this sense of control of just just because food is there, it doesn't mean I have to eat it, right? I can enjoy it. I can enjoy the experience. I can enjoy my son's birthday, whatever it is, and still be happy and still have delicious food and still lose 37 pounds in 2 months. I feel great. So awesome. Anything else you've kind of seen or experienced along the way that's been helpful for you in your journey that you feel like as you go forward? I know a lot of people are like, well, sure, you lose all this weight quickly, and start feeling better, like all these cool things. But what's going to propel us forward to make the change permanently, right? Can we keep the weight off? So what things have you learned? I mean, the mindset sounds like is key, right?
Yeah.
Kind of expand on that. Anything else you've kind of experienced as far as things that'll help you?
Well, we've kind of made this like as a family kind of a journey together. And I'll be honest, I brought all of those dang treats home and my kids eat it. I would have been better if I would have just thrown it away, but I haven't like switched over everything, but like going through all of my cabinets and checking ingredients and just the knowledge I've gained on what is actually good fuel for my body. So we went through the spices like before we started, I think before I had, completely started on the program, and we got rid of anything that had additives that just weren't okay, or sugar, which was mind blowing to me to do that, because I was like, wow, I have no more spices in this cabinet. So we went shopping, we read labels, and we've learned, like, even my husband is like, yeah, we're not getting that. That one's not a good one. Or, so it's been really good. And then since we've been doing that, like my mother-in-law has been asking me questions about some of those, and she's started changing some of the spices in her cabinet, and I think one thing that I had kind of lost when I started teaching after my kids were in school was I love to cook. I've always loved to cook, but I just was tired and I didn't do it as much as I should, and I kind of lost that love of cooking good food because it was more of a chore. And now it's just like, it's brought back that love of cooking again because, like, ooh, let's season it this way. I mean, there's no lack of flavor in the food we eat. There's so much flavor, which I think that brings a joy back to just eating healthy food that has so much flavor. I feel like my taste buds have completely changed. So like some things I don't even need to season so much anymore because I'm like, oh, it just tastes so good. This broccoli's delicious. Or, I've tried foods that I hadn't really tried a lot of. Still trying to get used to seafood because I've grown up, Idaho potatoes my whole life. So I haven't really, that's something I'm still learning and trying to figure out. And I have one daughter that loves everything that I've made that was seafood, and I'm still like, I'm getting there, but my tastes have changed, and I don't know, it's just been really good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a really, really fun thing to experience, that when we kind of clean up our bodies and our brains and we get all this like processed, sugary, chemical filled stuff out, our literally the taste buds, our palate, our brain structures change, and we're going, this food is amazing. Like that's a really common experience for people when we clean our bodies up, or food just tastes better and we don't have to go without good food. And some people are scared of that. They're like, I don't want to give all that stuff up. And it's like, well, it's not that you're not enjoying food. It's just you're eating foods that actually help your body rather than hurt them. And they're both enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
So that's huge. So very cool. Well, I think those are such key things. I mean, of course, the mindset work we talk about, like that's 90% of weight loss permanently is, 90 is your mindset is being able to think in those ways and make those changes, but then being able to make food fun and exciting and different and enjoyable for the family. So those are huge things. So awesome job, creating those things in your life. And I think those are huge to take you forward. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. What other things, I mean, other than almost 37 pounds lost, what other benefits have you seen as you've gone through these last 2 months, whether it be physically, emotionally, whatever it is?
Yeah, I've lost over 50 inches, that's a lot of inches. And at first, like I think I was at like my clothes were starting to fit tight before I started. And so like, I mean, some of the clothes that I wear a lot of dresses teaching school. So a lot of those I can still wear, and they just, fit me really nice. They're a little loose, which is, great. But I pulled out like a box of old clothes that were smaller and was trying them on. And I was like, wow, these actually fit. Like that was a surprising moment for me. Or I want to say my sister said a quote and I'm going to botch it, so I'll just make up my own. But like you start to notice a change, then like family knows the change, but when others see a change, that's like, and so I've started to have people like, oh, you're doing something. And that's been, it's kind of been nice. Like I've noticed changes, but it's been nice to realize that it's like projected outward as well. One thing I love to take a nap. I'm not gonna lie. That has been one thing that I always feel like I could take a nap, but I have energy. I don't need to take a nap.
Yeah.
I never feel like I have to sit down and rest. I just have the energy like all day. I can go all day. And I never thought I had a problem with sleep before. I've always slept well, but sleep has improved, which was awesome because I didn't think it could improve, because I've always been like, I hit the pillow and I'm out and I'm good. But I just feel so much more rested sleeping, like, which I didn't think that could happen because I already slept great, before. I didn't think it was a problem. So there's been a lot of things like that I've seen a change. But I do love the freedom of, like, I don't feel tempted at all to eat something that I don't want to eat. And that freedom is, I think, the biggest thing that I've gained.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's huge. I think if there's one thing that I could help someone achieve or want for somebody, it would be that. It would be that it's not that you couldn't ever eat those things again. Like, it's not that anyone's going to like put you in prison if you eat them or you would die. It's just, you have control over it. You don't have to do that. You have the choice. And so many people, like, I always ask people, like, people think freedom is eating what you want. And then I say, well, could you not eat those things if they were there? And a lot of people are like, well, no way. Like, I have to eat them if they're there, right? Or maybe that one time to prove me wrong, they could do it. But over time, like, they couldn't not choose that, right? They would have to do it. And so that's the beauty, is when you have the ability to say, I don't need that, or I could want, sure, I'll have it, whatever. Like, you can choose that if you want. And of course, like, we all have goals. So our choices need to make sure that we reach those goals. And a lot of people, their goals that they have and their choices they're making, they're not congruent and they're not lining up. And so they feel really crappy about emotionally, right? They're just like, oh man, I keep letting myself down. Right. And we talk a lot about keeping kind of the contracts we keep with ourselves and set for ourselves. So that's awesome. I mean, of course, better energy, better sleep, like feeling better, losing weight, like more confidence, more energy, like those things are all massive, Natalie. So I'm super, super excited for you and all that you've experienced. I mean, those are life-changing things. And of course, we always say it's a short period of time, but excited for the progress that'll continue to come as well. So super, super pumped for your progress. If someone was watching this and they're, maybe starting the program or like maybe debating, should I do it? Should I not? Maybe they're sitting on the fence. Like, what, in hindsight, now that you were a little skeptical in the beginning, like, what do you say to someone in that kind of situation?
I would just say, if you want freedom, do it. Like, if you want complete control, I think all of us seek for control. Like, let's be honest, we live in a crazy world. And so don't be afraid to do it, but also don't beat yourself up if you do fall. Like, I'll be honest, like, I was strict. I did not deviate from the program once, because I'm competitive with myself. I was like, as much as I can. I'm going to show them that I can lose more than 35 pounds, whatever, but even if you deviate, if you're 1% better than you were yesterday, it's progress, and progress is huge.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's huge. So awesome. Well, I love that. And I think that's, I think there's two schools of thought there that are awesome, that you stick with it. And if you deviate, that's okay. Like, love yourself and keep going forward and just make those incremental changes each day. Cause it's those small and simple things that add up in our lives that make a great life and make great health. And, it's just continuing to do the right things every day. So I think that's huge. So awesome. Well, any last words you want to share? Or any other thoughts about anything? If not, we really appreciate your time. Anything else you'd want to share for someone going through the program or thinking about joining the program?
I just have to say thank you. Like, the knowledge that I've gained and the confidence and the freedom has been life-changing. Like, I see that rolling over, even just my choices with food and, exercise and the different things that I focus on, I'm seeing even my children be like, oh, mom can do something hard, so I can do something hard. And so I think I just, it's a life-changing thing that has like a ripple effect for those around you. And so I've had lots of people ask me like, well, what vegetables are better? I think just the knowledge you gain from the program is worthwhile, and it's going to benefit you and others, which is amazing. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to work with you and have people in the program. And I always say, you do the work. We just get to kind of like point you in the direction that you should start walking, and support you along the way. But I want to congratulate you so far on all the progress. And of course, our journey together is not done yet, but we take
Right.
a little interim to talk about it and share. So we appreciate you being here, Natalie, and sharing your story. And again, congrats on all the progress that you've had so far.
Thanks. It's been a good journey.
Good. Glad to hear it. So, okay. Thanks again, Natalie, for being here.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.